This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.
Hi, I'm Steve Irvin with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. More than 500,000 small businesses across the state, many of them still recovering from the pandemic. ABC15 speaking exclusively with the head of the Small Business Administration, Isabel Casillas Guzman. She told us, although the federal government is no longer taking new applications for PPP loans, there's still a variety of resources out there for Arizona small business owners who are in trouble through the SBA. In fact, she says the administration remains committed to providing low-cost loans, making sure small businesses have access to this money, and creating a broader network of lenders.
Navigating government is one of the challenges that small businesses and all businesses face. And so that's partially why we wanted to make sure we launched the community navigators and expand our network. We know that small businesses don't have time to play all those roles, all those hats, including HR. We want to make sure that we can provide them with the strategies and the resources. We want to meet businesses where they are and provide a simple access to government.
Guzman also says her office remains committed to making sure female and minority-owned businesses have equal access to funding. For a list of resources from the SBA and the state, check out this story on ABC15.com. A mother forced to go to extreme measures to save her small son from a burning apartment. It happened in Mesa on Alma School Road and University. Fire investigators telling ABC15 the fire started inside the second-floor apartment where the woman and her 4-year-old son lived and then quickly spread. According to the Mesa Fire Department, the woman broke a bedroom window in order to save herself and the boy.
There was actually fire lapping right behind her. She handed her child off to the ground, and she herself had to jump out the second floor window.
Firefighters say the woman was burned and that she and her son were taken to the hospital. One of her neighbors was also treated there for smoke inhalation. At least 8 apartments affected. The complex, along with the Red Cross, are working to help those who've been displaced. One Valley hospital opening up extra space to help care for patients who test positive for COVID-19. Valleywise Health says it's seeing COVID cases and hospitalizations continue to skyrocket. The healthcare network's chief clinical officer, Dr. Michael White, says some patients are in the hospital with COVID while others came in for other issues and ended up with a positive test. Meanwhile, staffing at all Valley hospitals continues to be an issue. Valleywise, Banner, and Honor Health now have policies allowing healthcare workers who test positive to come back to work if they meet certain conditions. They have to quarantine for 5 days and be asymptomatic. Dignity Health changed its policy this week to let workers return without quarantining if they have mild or no symptoms.
It's concerning that we will overwhelm our healthcare resources. We have not peaked yet in Arizona and likely will not peak for the next 2 weeks with the number of positive tests.
Dr. White says emergency departments are seeing a record number of patients, leading to long wait times. The Rock and Roll Marathon right around the corner, and one Valley runner proving his disability is not slowing him down. Johnny Rojas's right leg was amputated from the knee down when he was just a year old. And while it saved him from ending up in a wheelchair, for a child growing up, it was tough to avoid the insecurity he felt.
I'd go to PE, I'd get a note because I didn't want to dress down in shorts because I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to know that I had a prosthetic. So I hid it a good portion of my life.
10 years ago, Rojas challenged himself to complete the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. Since then, he's run more than 100 races, placing in his age group multiple times. He hopes his story will help others embrace what makes them different and reach for the stars.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sellens with a look at your forecast and another beautiful day tomorrow. We really have this forecast on repeat with clouds moving through and temperatures running a little bit above normal as we keep the forecast dry. So tomorrow, still off to a chilly start. We're tracking mid-40s at 6 a.m., 51 degrees in that forecast by 9 and mid-60s at noon before those 70s set in the afternoon hours. Air quality will be unhealthy again in the early morning forecast. So kind of plan your outdoor time in the afternoon hours if you have any kind of respiratory condition or you may have difficulty breathing if you're outside for too long early on. This will continue every morning through the rest of the week. Temperatures staying in the 70s as we keep this forecast on repeat. We're looking at 72 for Thursday and Friday, 71 on Saturday. More clouds and breezes on Saturday, but at this point our forecast is looking dry and we'll keep those 70s going into early next week too.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, head to ABC15.com or download the free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. straight up.